Welcome to another video. We're back playing the Duelist Cup, and I'm all the way at level 17, which means there's only 3 levels left to get to D level max. Let's show you some of the games that got me here. Alright, I've been making gradual changes to this deck based on cards I've seen, decks people have been playing. A lot of back row decks, but you know, it's hard to say. There's kind of everything. Honestly, I don't know if I've seen two of the same deck. I may have seen two Flounderies, but whatever opponent's doing is clearly wackiness. Opponent discarded a Banquet of Millions. Our Drone Lockbird stopped him from adding additional cards to his hand. And we're just going to try comboing, see what happens. Opponent doesn't seem to be interacting with us at all. Make the Hulk of Fibrax, see if this gets an answer. If opponent doesn't have an answer to the Hulk of Fibrax, they probably don't have an answer to anything. And opponent's doing nothing, so we're just going to keep going. Make our negates. We're playing Mermails at max power. We're not going to stop. An opponent activating Just Desserts and a Secret Blast. Got to worry about this. This is a lot of damage. We got to worry about this. Now we know that it's a burn deck. We could be in trouble. But we're going to keep going. You don't stop just because you get burned a little bit. Let's make the Dragite. Now, usually what I do in this position is make 4 load with the 3 negates, but because opponent is playing entirely back row, Dragite can just keep negating spells each turn. So we made a Dragite instead. Alright, let's continue. We get the token. We get the Heralded Arclight. Let's pass. Back to the opponent. Opponent activating Card of Demise. Now, if you'd forgotten, opponent activated Waboku, so there's no need for us to attack there. Negate the Card of Demise. Stop our opponent from drawing. Opponent can activate second Card of Demise. We're going to stop that too. Not going to let opponent draw 3. And final card is not being activated. So we survived. We survived for another turn. And now we got Small World. Let's start with the Small World. Get ourselves a Diva. And we can start comboing all over again. Get the Prince. Activate the Prince. Get ourselves a Heavy in hand. Search for another Sea Serpent monster. Get ourselves a Lapis Dragon. Might as well special summon him. Our goal is to get lethal here. We got to negate with the Dragite. Get Megalo on the field. Search for another Sea Serpent. We're going to get him. We got lethal. If you love watching Mermail videos, let me know down in the comments. We'll be playing more games in this tournament. See if we can get all the way to the end. Finish our opponent off with Phoenix Enforcer. If you like these videos, also consider subscribing to the channel. I make a lot of videos about all sorts of decks. You can let me know down in the comments what sort of decks you want to see. Alright, crushed our opponent playing some sort of back row shenanigans. Let's go on to the next game. I will show a version of this deck list at the end of the video. It is the latest version that I had with tech cards to beat what I was seeing. But first, let's summon Abysteus. Discarding Argameciel. Summon the Despot. Now this is a bit awkward. We don't usually want to have the Despot in hand. And opponent has Ghost Ogre, which is not ideal for us. We used our normal summon. So all we got left is this Mecha Phantom Beast Lion. We're in a little bit of trouble here. But opponent's just set in back row. Not sure what opponent's doing. Not usual that you see the Ghost Ogre. Let's start with a Small World. Get an Ash Blossom. And make the Verte. Opponent is called by the Graven. Gonna banish our Olion and gonna activate Forbidden Droplet to negate our Verte, so we will not be able to activate. No activation means no DPE. He's just a 500 Sneck. We're in trouble. We got Maxi, we got Ash Blossom. We'll see if it's enough. go to the battle phase, hit our opponent, see what they can do. They got 3 cards, but we got 3 cards. It's a fair fight. Opponent sent more back row. Who knows what opponent's doing? Opponent has had just interaction so far. Let's see if we can get a DPE, and the Verte resolves, so DPE is on the field. If this is going to be a grindy game, having DPE is going to be super key. Let's pop our snake, pop that back row. Hits another Lancia. Gonna stop us from banishing cards. Let's just attack here. Keep our DPE on the field. Set our call by. Pass back to the opponent. I'm assuming opponent has some sort of engine, but right now it's all removal. Harpies, Feather Duster. Gonna get rid of our Call by the Grave. Force us to use it now. Maybe I should have kept the Call by in hand. Get that off the field. And now we know what our opponent's doing. Live Twin. Sunny Snitch. This is a live twin deck. Let's pop that spell. DP will come back on our next turn, but opponent's last card, another piece of interaction, Ghost Bell. That means opponent has nothing. We have nothing. All we got is Maxi and an Ash Blossom. We draw Lapis Dragon. We can get special summoning that. Now, we have an option here. We can activate the effect of Maxi and normal summon our Ash Blossom, or just negate our own Maxi, and then try and draw 2 new cards using the Destiny Hero in the graveyard, but I think that's too risky. I think it's too risky. We're gonna pass. We're gonna pass back to the opponent. High stakes duel. No power on the field. Opponent activating a secret password. That's gonna add a card to their hand. We're gonna stop that Ash Blossom negate. If we get an additional water monster, we'll be able to do some link plays, summon some stuff from the graveyard. Potentially. Let's draw an Imperm. Let's Pot of Greed here. Activate that Maxi. Just get it out of here. We draw 2 cards. A Small World, but we have no monster. So we can't use a Small World. We got to draw any monster. Small World can transform it. And opponent draws a Lightning Storm. Gonna just annihilate our back row. Opponent playing 90% interaction in their deck so far. Let's use our Call by the Grave. Imperm's just gonna get destroyed. All we got is Lapis Dragon. We fail to draw a monster here. We're gonna set the Imperm, pass back to the opponent, and now we're just hoping. We're just hoping for a top deck. Opponent passing the turn with no actions, holding a card in hand, and now we've drawn the Minstrel. Let's activate the Small World, get ourselves a Deep Sea Diva. Can we finally get this opponent? Deep Sea Diva summoning, getting the Prince. Prince gonna activate. Send Dragoons, add Dragoons. Dragoons in graveyard. Gonna search for the Moon Glacia. Summon it right away. Get rid of opponent's card there. Opponent's card was a live twin. Not sure why they didn't summon it. Maybe it needs more cards to work. Let's go straight to battle. We got Abyss Glacia. We got Imperm. We got Moon Glacia. After we attack, we're going to make Veranda Fleur. So we have an Omni Negate. Now that means opponent gets another turn because we won't be able to attack them. But with an Omni Negate and an Imperm on the field, I think we should be doing okay. Opponent summoning Live Twin, activating the effect. Gonna special summon a monster from their deck. Let's negate that with the Imperm. Keep our Baron Negate around. We can even activate our Bisslacia. Search for Megalo. Activate Dragoons. Get ourselves a Deep Sea Diva. And now I think we got the opponent. I think opponent is done. Activate the Baron. Pop their monster. We don't even need to summon Deep Sea Diva. We got lethal here. We're just showing off. Activate the affected Dragoons. Get another Deep Sea Diva. But we're not going to have any more turns here. Tatsunoko on the field. I forgot the battle phase. I always forget about the battle phase being skipped. Opponent gets their final turn here, but there's nothing they can do with a single card to get through this Baron. We're going to pop their back row, cross out Designate, their final piece of interaction, and they're gone. Alright, well, we're on a bit of a roll here. Let's show you one more game, then I'll show you the deck list. Alright, we're going first. Now, unfortunately, we have Very awkward. Mecha Phantom Beast in hand. Also, Celestial, although it's not the worst to draw it, it's not great to have in hand. So this hand, almost perfect, but a little clunky. Ash protect from Max C. Call by can protect from other pieces of interaction. So let's see what the opponent has here. Start by summoning the Prince, activate. Opponent has a Max C. Now we have the option of using Ash here or Call by. In this situation, I think that it's probably better to use Call by. If we can't get, because of the Mecha Phantom Beast being in hand, we're only going to be able to get one negate up on our turn. So having the Ash in hand, we can use it on our opponent's turn to negate their combo searchers. So we're going to use our Call by the Grave to stop that Max C. Max C is out of here. Alright, so we have a little bit more protection here because we are going to get a chance to look at our opponent's hand. With the Dragoons, that's got sent to the graveyard. We can search for Deep Sea Minstrel. Let's take a look at our opponent's hand here. Alright, opponent has a lot of interaction, Lightning Storm and Crossout Designate. They also have Tempest, the Dragon Roller. This is the only not banned Dragon Roller. And a Armed Dragon, Thunder level 5. I do not know how Armed Dragons work, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge. Let's take their Crossout, although it doesn't matter what we take, they're getting it back at end of turn. We don't have a way to make them discard. Lapis Dragon to summon itself. Let's go into the Hulk Fibrax combo. Get ourselves the Despot. Make the Aurodon. And we can make a Baron here. We're going to have to make him in defense mode because of that Lightning Storm. If we want to keep our Baron alive with his negate. Alright. Opponent getting their Crossout back. Back to the opponent's turn here. They draw an additional card. Lightning Storm we knew about. Pop in our Aurodon. This is the new card, Artillery Catapult Turtle. Tribute a monster, special summon a guy, the Fierce Knight monster, or one level 5 dragon monster from your hand or deck. You can only use this effect once per turn. Now, we gotta negate this. If we use the Ash Blossom, he will be able to negate with Crossout. So we're gonna use the Baron here. And opponent is activating Tempest. Tempest can be, you can discard this card and one wind monster to add a dragon monster from your deck to your hand. So he's searching for a dragon, not summoning the Tempest. We're going to try an Ash Blossom, but we know his last card is a Crossout, so he will be able to negate this if he has an Ash Blossom in his deck, which he does. Now we just got to see what he can do with no normal summon and a single dragon monster in hand. It is a Pile Armed Dragon. But there is an effect in the graveyard, Armed Dragon level 5. This card, because it was sent to the graveyard, to activate a dragon monster's effect, he gets to add a level 5 or higher wind dragon monster from his deck to his hand. So he gets to add another Armed Dragon. And his Pile Armed Dragon can send a wind or dragon monster from his hand to special summon itself. Also sends a monster to the graveyard, which searches for an Armed Dragon level 10. And opponent gets our Baron de Fleur. And we got nothing. We got to draw something good here. And we do not draw something good. We draw Molan Glacia. That is not great because we have 6 water monsters in graveyard with no way to get one out. That means Molan Glacia is offline forever, permanently breaking our hand. And our goal here probably to get DPE out. But with DPE, we still have Molan Glacia in hand. We won't be able to draw. We'll never be able to get our hand empty. Opponent making a Galaxy Tomahawk. Detaching. Summoning a bunch of tokens. Allows us to get our Despot on the field because multiple machine monsters were summoned at the same time. So we should be able to survive for this turn. Opponent goes into a Nightmare Unicorn, spins our boy O-Lion back into the deck, making an IP Masquerena. And going into Accessco Talker. Opponent summoning an Ash Blossom, making a Union Carrier. Not sure what this line is all about, but opponent attaches an Ash Blossom to his Ash Blossom. pops our Despot and gets in for 0 damage because obviously I don't know what effect they did, but one of their effects that they activated stops us from taking battle damage. So opponent does not hurt us, giving us another turn here. We draw the Fusion Destiny. Fusion Destiny will let us pop one of his monsters and attack over his Union Carrier, but we forgot to read. We forgot to read, and it turns out we're doomed. Opponent's IP Masquerena makes his Accesco Talker immune from destruction. We don't have a way to get rid of the Accesco Talker immune from destruction with 5,300 attack points. And he's going to be able to pop our DPE. Any card on the field will get him the damage that he needs to get lethal here. And opponent draws Call by the Grave just as a last spit in the face, banishing our DPE from the graveyard, but opponent doesn't even need it. He's got lethal, summoning the Tempest from the graveyard, and that is game. Well, that's sad. So sad, in fact, it may be enough to make someone turn to the dark side. Well, we'll see. Come back tomorrow to see what's happened, what's gone wrong, who has fallen to the dark side, how far have they fallen. Alright, let's show you the deck list. Alright, here is the latest version of the deck I was using. Playing the core Mermail cards and lots of different interaction pieces. Hopefully hold off your opponents. I did end up putting in a copy of Lightning Storm. If you have Lightning Storm from the bundle deal, might be worth including in this deck list. If you're going second, which happens about 50% of the time, you're going to want to pop your opponent's back row, and Lightning Storm can do that, especially against a lot of back row heavy decks. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video, and see you again next time. Have a good night.